Welcome back. We're shifting our focus to what's been happening in the Supreme Court with respect to the deforestation exercise that was carried out by the Telangana state authorities in the Kancha Gachibowli area very close to Hyderabad. The Supreme Court has now pulled up the Congress government in Telangana over that deforestation matter. And during the hearing that's ongoing in the Supreme Court, Justice Gavai has said, and I quote, "We cannot permit cutting of trees without permission of the court. You also did not take permission of the authorities. We're here to protect the environment. Rather than justifying the act, it's better you tell us as to what you will do to restore the greens." Now, the Supreme Court has also asked the state government to come up with a roadmap for the restoration process. Now, let me go across to my colleague Harish, who's been reporting on this matter from the Supreme Court. Now, Harish, the Telangana government had been asked by the Supreme Court to make a whole host of submissions after the formation of the committee. Now, the committee was put together approximately 2 weeks ago after there was considerable amount of outrage over the deforestation that was carried out. Tell us about what happened in the Supreme Court today and what does the Telangana government need to do from here on?
Yes, that's right, Siddharth. In fact, the wildlife warden of Telangana government has been asked to come up with a roadmap as to how the flora and fauna in the 100-acre area where the trees have been cut illegally, that can be restored, and also to ensure that all the animals and birds in the forest area are back, and also a roadmap as to what will be done to restore the greenery in that area. And the clear message from the Supreme Court is that if you oppose restoration, temporary prison for your officials. The Supreme Court has sent out a clear message that the trees should not have been cut without the permission of the court. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, appearing for the government, Telangana Revanth Reddy government, tried to convince that permission of some local authorities was taken, but Justice Gavai snapped at him, saying that there was already an order as per a 1996 judgment that prior to cutting trees in more than 100 acres, the permission of the court should have been taken, and the Supreme Court said, please don't try to justify the act you have done. Just tell us what you will do to restore the forest in the 100-acre area. And remember, on the last date of hearing, Siddharth, Supreme Court had stayed all kind of activities and questioned the frenetic action in the area with lot of bulldozers and the action going on there without the permission of the court. Remember, this Revanth Reddy government had decided to allot this 300 to 400 acres to private builders to set up IT parks and also to garner revenue in that process. But the Supreme Court has put brakes on the illegal act.
Absolutely. And today, and just as a very quick follow-up, now there were strong words that were reserved by the Supreme Court for the Chief Secretary of Telangana when the hearing took place the last time round. And like you mentioned earlier as well in your report, there was a threat pretty much coming from the Supreme Court that we can make arrangements as far as jail is concerned on those very premises. Now, what's been the follow-up action that's been taken by the Telangana government? Because they were actually supposed to submit to the Supreme Court an entire range of details about the amount of forest land in the state and what they intend to do with it. What's the response from the Telangana government over that?
Yes, in fact, the Telangana government has submitted some kind of interim report. For a full report, more time has been sought. But in fact, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, the senior advocate, tried to justify the act which has been done. But Supreme Court has now given 4 weeks' time to the wildlife warden and also the chief secretary to come out with a very satisfactory.
Interrupt you for a moment. We have Ravula Sridhar Reddy joining us. Mr. Reddy, how do you respond to what the Telangana government has now been trying to do in the Supreme Court after it had been pulled up in a very strong way by the top court on the previous occasion over the deforestation exercise carried out in the Kancha Gachibowli area?
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate that the government is trying to justify their act of, felling the trees and disturbing the ecosystem there, even at the apex court. Now, at least the Supreme Court observations has to, wake them up. and the government, we demand that the government should restore the normalcy there and do not disturb any vegetation further, because the Supreme Court has taken a strong exception to the activity of the government. They went up to saying if they continue to do this, don't restore the normalcy there, they might even order for an imprisonment of the officers there. So the government should understand the importance of maintaining the biodiversity there, and they should not, further act anything, which is against the, interest of the people and civil society there.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Reddy, and also thanks to my colleague Harish, who's been reporting on this from the Supreme Court. We're also getting a BJP response. Rachna Reddy of the Bharatiya Janata Party now joins us. Ms. Reddy, the Telangana government has sought to justify its deforestation action in the Supreme Court. However, the stay continues, and it's also apparently sought more time now from the court to submit a few more details about the forest cover in the state of Telangana. What do you have to say about their response and their action so far, ma'am?
Absolutely irresponsible and negligent action that is completely unbecoming of a state. In fact, I'm embarrassed to call myself a Hyderabadi at this point of time, because here is a situation when the Honorable Supreme Court directed the High Court Registrar to go inspect and to give an on-ground report as to what is the situation of the deemed forest there. What is the wildlife and what are the scheduled animals there, and what is the kind of forestation that would be required if afforestation is ordered. And the state government has the audacity, completely blindly and in completely contrasting manner, to actually state that apparently it was not a forest, that it is not a notified forest, and because there have been, it has been vacant, trees and shrubs have grown, and wildlife periodically comes there once in a while, and it's not making it its home. This is absolutely shameful for any environmentalist to even think about what the state government has just stated. The state government has just stated that all the research related to wildlife, all the scheduled species that have made that place its home, are
strong
not
words
real.
from the court as well. The court has also responded very strongly to the submissions that have been made by the state government. We'll see as to how those hearings pan out. But in the meantime, thank you, Ms. Reddy, for your views on this. We'll take a short break right now. Amita will take you through the rest on the other side.